Wrapping it up, the Cougs from unmarks in the transfer portal. The Cougs have a lot of freshmen coming in this class.
Yeah.
Then you got youngsters already with Emmanuel Sharp. On this class, Terrence Arsenault. You got Cedric Lott coming in.
I mean, it could be
Cordell, Cordell, what's Cordell's last name? Jefferson.
Jefferson,
Jefferson.
Jefferson. Jojo Tugler, a finalist for the Gavi Lewis Award.
Cedric
So
Lott.
the Cougs are going to have to hit the portal for veterans because
I mean, right now you
you're being
figured.
there's a problem. There's a tendency you can be too young.
Mm-hmm.
Talented, yes, but too young. So the Cougs, I think, got to hit the transfer portal to get probably at least two impact players, veterans, at least two. Now, who those are, we shall see. But because some of the youngsters, incoming freshmen, you might see one or two of them redshirt out of necessity, honestly.
I mean, they have a
And
lot of big men coming in.
yeah, and based on Tremont leaving, Marcus leaving for the pros, I'm saying this. I would not be shocked if the staff says to Malik Wilson, Malik, thank you, man, for your time. Thank you for what you did in practice, helping make our younger guys better. But we're going to go in a different direction because of need. We need some guys to make an impact in the Big 12. And you may not be part of that direction going forward. I'm saying that. But they got to get more experience in the portal. I think they will. I don't believe it's going to be a major issue. So Kook fans, don't panic, don't freak out, because Coach Kelvin Sampson has been doing this a long time. And one last thing, I don't know if you guys saw the tweet about it. The headline of the tweet was Bob Huggins says, I
Oh
feel
yeah.
sorry for Houston. I listened to that segment. He didn't say that. Huggins said, I feel sorry for them, as in the four new programs coming into the Big 12. He did not say Houston specifically. So clickbait is clickbait. Sometimes you got to go into listen to it, read the article, do your own investigating. But fans, Andy James, you guys know it. We don't expect the Cougs to go 33-4 next year. We don't expect the Cougs to go 17-1 in the Big 12 next year. They're going to lose some games in the Big 12. But you know what? They'll still be a good team. They're still going to the tournament. So, Andy, what do you say about that? And we'll wrap it up. And James, you next. How can folks find you on social media?
I agree. What we've heard over the course of the last few months, years, really, when we talk about the transfer portal and really the long line, the teams of players that want to come play under Coach Calvin Sampson and here for the program in Houston, and now that they are going to be playing in the Big 12, I'd imagine there's going to be a lot of people that are excited and would want to be a part of that. But I think that's interesting when you look at just a season ago, going back to when they made the Elite Eight, how veteran laden that squad was with Josh Carlton, Fabian White, Tajay Moore, Kyler Edwards, to now where really the core rotation players will be Jamal Shed if he does opt to return after testing the NBA draft, and Juwan Roberts. Um,
Yep.
that'll be it. I know they'll still have Ramon Walker, but he redshirted. If Ramon Walker comes back, he
Yep.
redshirted.
Mhm.
So I mean that's pretty much it. If I don't think I'm missing anyone when it comes that's been in here and's made impact. Emmanuel Sharp, obviously, of course, that had a solid role, but he'll be his sophomore year. So four players, and then three that, if you really count them, that played this season consistent minutes that were in the rotation for the bulk of the season. And then you'll have Terrence Arsenault, who will be a sophomore, be with the program. It'll interesting time. I think I agree with you, Chris. They certainly could use veterans to add from the transfer portal.
Yeah, and adding on to your point about, just the expectations in the Big 12, look at it this year. Like the Big 12, the number one seed Kansas, they lost 5 games in the conference, and they were still a 1 seed, 8 overall. Oklahoma State and TCU both went 500 in Big 12 play, 9-9. They were comfortably in the NCAA tournament as 6 seeds.
Yep.
So there's going to be, I mean, I'm sure Houston fans will overreact, but it's not going to be another 33-2 or whatever, 31-2, whatever it was in
Right.
the regular season. Um, but they'll still be good. And Andy, I mean, touched on the main things of the roster. One name, I don't think it will happen, but I think the Cougs should look into is Washington State's TJ Bamba. I think
Mm-hmm.
just his ability to score the ball. His first time as a full time starter, he doubled his average in points. He can shoot the three, create stuff off. He can create his own shot, but he's also good off the dribble. I think that could be an interesting fit. I don't think that will happen just because the number of schools that have shown interest in him, and I haven't seen Houston sort of listed in that. But I think that would be someone if I was in Samson's shoes, that's someone I would definitely take a look at.
And let's wrap it up. James, you first. How can folks follow you on social media?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at JDM2186, and then for the next less than a month, I guess now, stuff will be on the dailycougar.com, and then I will be done as sports editor there, but all my work can be found there.
And Yanez?
Yes, sir. People can find me on Twitter at Aonis_5. Like I plugged in earlier in the show, be sure to go hit subscribe to the Pastime Jammy YouTube channel. We're still on the road to 1,000 subs, and of course, we'll be touching more on the Tremont Mark news and anything else that breaks ahead. The focus now turns to spring football this coming week for Houston, and just I mean overall to add on to the perspective. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the men's basketball team retools because they have some pieces, but now that I'm thinking about it, geez, they're gonna have so many front court players. Juwan Roberts, Javier Francis. They have Cedric Lott, who joined the program early. Then they're gonna have Jacob McFarland, um, JoJo Tugler. I mean, geez, that's a lot of front court players.
A lot of depth up front. So transfer portals should be wings and guards on the perimeter.
I mean,
So
they're gonna have a lot of young guards too.
we have a very
It'll
young
be
team.
interesting.
Go ahead.
This team is in an interesting position. I'm just curious to see how it kind of changes because there's a lot of young players, but there's I mean, it'll be interesting how it shapes up because, like I agree, I think a veteran or two to this roster is really what the team will need. But when what kind of happens with all the younger players, especially some that might not have played this season, and if you bring in another veteran at their position, maybe they're in store for another season where they don't get consistent minutes.
And some young guys may decide to leave. So we shall see. It's going to be a different year. It's going to be a challenging year because of the youth currently as on as of April 2nd. But the Cougs need veterans. They need guys who can make shots. I think they need guys who can score on the block. I believe they have some of those in the pipeline on the roster right now. I would like to see Juwan Roberts more as a 4, not a 5. So we'll see if he and Javier Francis can play well together. It's going to be a different team, but you got to get some 3-point shooting, get some impact players like a Marcus Sasser type player, guys like that. If they'll do that. We'll discuss it here on Folks Talking Sports, on Let's Rage Cougs, on Parsley Majama. So thank you very much to Joe, Apollo, Allen, Turd Fergus 97, love that name. D Skills H Town, everybody else who's tuned in Orbiter, thank you as well. We will continue talking about the Cougs and other sports throughout the summer, the spring, the summer, on Folks Talking Sports, and on probably Paul Samajama. And Andy may have thrown mix up a little bit of some Let's Rage Cougs outside of post game editions, just to give fans a little taste during this off season. But you can follow me on Twitter at the HR Review. See it there in the upper corner. But follow us
That's pretty
also
cool.
on Folks Talk Sports. So thank you for everyone, for Will Gibson chiming in. Also, thank you to Jalen Lowe, the winner of the 2023 Gavi Lewis Award, for joining us at the top of the show. Wish him good luck at his college career at Pitt. So we're going to wrap it up. Great discussion. I hope we helped a little bit calm the nerves, fears of some Coug fans. It's going to be okay. Fans of UH men's basketball, it's going to be all right. The Cougs will be okay. So for Andy, James, Willie Gibson from Places Unknown, and Jalen Lowe, I'm Kris Gardner of the Houston Round Bar Review. Until next time, everybody take care. Peace.